All right. And today is the last Friday that we will have the public join us on this Friday program. This is mainly for the millionaires and billionaires club members, those who have paid their yearly subscription for the millionaire and billionaire club membership. Because what we are doing is not necessarily a church event. It's not a church event. It's something out there in the world. It's not about deliverance and so on, although that might chip in. It's about your success, your winning, your being a champion. It's about self-help, self-improvement. It's about money and material resources. It's about getting rich. It's about being wealthy. You are here to learn principles and you go and apply it. And the group will discuss things. The millionaire and billionaire club members, they discuss things that has to do with um, our keys, the keys that is just for those kind of people. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. No. And those of you who are out there in Europe, in the Caribbean, in Oceania, other places, and you've paid your yearly membership for the Millionaire and Billionaire Club, you will receive the video and you will receive all sorts of things that is for your general improvement. Who is that just came in? Victoria, go in. Shante, okay. All right, Shante. Now, Mary, hit us with the key for today.
Yes, please. I have it here.
Go ahead.
Okay. If you do not stop and break a curse and a cycle, it will break and stop you.
Okay. Start again.
Again. If you do not stop and break a curse and a cycle.
Stop there. If you do not stop and break a curse or a cycle. If you do not stop and break them, let me explain it a little bit here. Mary, repeat it again. If you do not
stop and break a curse and a cycle.
If you do not stop, which means you recognize. There will be a time that I think each of you should write it down. One of you should send it to me. We are going to do a major program on how to recognize the signs that there is a curse or there is a cycle. Please write that down. Nancy, make sure you write that down. How to recognize the sign that there is a curse and an evil cycle in your life or in your family. There are things you see, you know. Okay, so let's get back to our powerful key for this evening. If you don't stop and break, if you do not stop and break, which means you sense, you feel it, you know it, that there is a case. Someone has done something. someone has done something that has triggered a curse, or someone has done something that has made somebody to put a curse. That's what is happening. And many a time people are running with a big curse and they don't know it. Also, there is what we call a cycle, a bad cycle. A bad cycle is an atmosphere that follows either you or everyone born into a lineage or into a wide family or into a small family. A cycle. A cycle comes and goes. When it comes, it brings an evil wind. Please write that down. When a cycle comes, a cycle of evil comes, it brings an evil wind. And then when it goes, make sure you're writing this down. When it goes, you are filled with the job of cleaning up all that evil that has happened. And by the time that you are trying to regain yourself to finish cleaning up all the evil that has happened, that cycle comes back again. So you become a slave to that cycle. I was teaching leaders in one of the embassies of the world recently, one of the consulates and embassies, and I could tell how none of them are able to know that their nation is under the biggest curse of all time. That's why no matter what they do, everything always backfire on all of them. There's nothing they do that succeed. It's a country that goes nowhere. If you try to move forward, something is trying to move you backward. Either it's people or circumstances or problems. Things are formed to stop you, to break you, to try and destroy you, to terminate you from off the earth. That is why many families you see mother die of cancer, father die of cancer, children die of cancer until there's nobody. Because nobody cared to stop it, to break and stop a cycle. Cycles that comes and goes. That is also the reason why you leave a wicked marriage. By the time you know it, you are in a relationship, you are attracted to somebody who is very nice. And by the time you know it, that person turned into something completely different that you were not expecting. And that person is worse than the person that you just left. The reason is that a cycle, an evil cycle will always produce and will always come back and produce and reproduce, produce and reproduce another evil cycle. I want you to be aware of this. Even if a good thing was to happen to you, the cycle will sweep it away. The curse is there to just completely frustrate, to make good things not to happen. And the cycle is to enforce the curse. The curse now becomes part of that cycle that comes and goes. It's interesting. If you do not stop and break an evil cycle and a curse, you know what it will do? It will break and stop you. I want you to be aware of this. There is a serious matter. That is why some people, they do very well in life and it all ends up in scandal and people committing suicides, because that's the cycle that has been worked into the foundation of that person, foundation of that family, of that lineage. So you see a lot of people committing suicide. A lot of people have mental breakdowns, depression of the highest kind. Somebody died of a gunshot, another person will die of a gunshot. So that's why when an evil thing happens to you or happens in your family, go straight into fasting and nip it off the bud. Destroy it. Because if you don't destroy it, somebody will attract, or somebody will be attracted to the same evil. Because you see, the easiest way for evil to continue to participate in human history, the easiest way for them is through a cycle of repetition. That's the easiest way that they do it. If you do not stop and break evil cycles, if you don't, and curses, they will break and stop you. They are going to break you and they are going to stop you. You've been asking yourself questions. Why am I attracted to this kind of job? Why am I always attracted to people who disappoint me? Why am I attracted to locations that are not for me? Why am I attracted to people who will do me wrong? It's because there is a cycle in place, an evil cycle that always comes around. And also because there is a curse. That's why some people will start businesses. After a while, their businesses crashes, collapse. Some people start their own cars, their own jets, their own everything. After a while, those things just abandon them. They don't have nothing. It has to do with the fact that they didn't stop and break an evil cycle. They did not stop and break curses in their lives. That's why things are happening this way. So I do not want to belabor this. I want you to be aware. If there are certain things happening, certain difficulties reveals that there is a curse and there is an evil cycle running in your life. And until you stop it and you break it, they are going to break you and they are going to stop you. So think very carefully. This is not about that you are a scientist, you are religious, you are this. No. Cycles of darkness and curses do not recognize your education. They don't recognize your wisdom. They don't recognize your intelligence. They don't recognize your smartness. They will overrule it, override it, and they will bring it under their feet. Because a curse and an evil cycle is like you are dealing with personalities that has been released and activated from generation to generation. So this is not a matter of I'm a scientist, I don't believe in those things. I'm a businessman or woman, I don't believe in those, because those who are into business, those who are into politics, those who are into the practice of the law, they all know that there is sometimes this thing happens and they can practice. You find yourself being dragged by things you don't know. People begin to betray you. Things begin to happen. Why? Because you did not stop. You didn't stop and break curses and break evil cycles. And now they are in control of you. They are now breaking you and stopping you. I want you to know this for a fact. Ha 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 ha. This is interesting. Think about this. Certain marriages you enter, you did not know that you entered into a marriage of a curse. You didn't know that you entered into a cycle of doom. So think about it. And your job is to get out of these things. I have the solution to deal with curses. I have solution.
Hallelujah.
I have solution for you to remove wicked cycles of doom. And if you want it, come and get it. Pay a little fee, and we will walk it off. And you'll be ready to go. I've seen people who they've struggled and struggled and struggled. They didn't make it. Why? Because there are curses and there are wicked cycles. Well, if you want to deal with wicked cycles and you also want to deal with curses, you can give me a call 316-512-6944. Our country code is 1. Bye bye.